Pro Football Hall of Famer, Terrell Davis. Good to see you, sir. 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
You were the MVP of the league.
It was that long
league,
ago.
1998.
Man,
it's 2018 now.
Time has flown.
You don't
by.
look like you have aged today.
I
It is
appreciate
remarkable.
that.
That is true.
I just try to maintain. Try to stay healthy. You know what I'm thinking? Maybe one day. It may never happen, but I think like psychologically, I tell myself that they're going to have something that reverses or stops aging.
Okay.
And maybe I'll be able to play again. So that's the only thing I can do to work out. Because otherwise,
well, if that happens, then you're going to have to go to Phillip Lindsay and ask him for number 30 back, Terrell.
Hey, I'm not to ask him for it, man. He's just gonna give it to me and say, "Hey, man, here you go." You reunite you with your number. And
how did that all go down?
Well, he texted me.
Okay.
And so I called him back, and we had a conversation.
He asked for it?
Yeah. No, I mean, and so that the first thing, I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. Like the dude called me for it.
Okay.
Because nowadays a lot of these millennials are different. Players are different. They'll just go take the number and then really don't have a history or understanding about the number. And he had full knowledge of it. He's from Denver, went to CU, and man, just the way he was impressive. Talking to him on the phone, and so it was like, hey, man, no doubt. I think the thing that really stood out to me was his story, right? And kind of having a player, an underdog who wasn't drafted, but opening day is essentially a starter. I mean, he wasn't the starter, but he got a lot of burn. He caught a touchdown pass. And in training camp, I know how it is to go to training camp and be undrafted or be a late round pick. And to have to be noticed at practice, and people, they raved about him the entire preseason. And so I'm like, okay, I got to check this kid out.
Okay.
I researched him and kind of followed him. And every conversation from Denver's camp was Phillip Lindsay is the truth. He's a real deal. And more impressive was not only on the field, but him as a person. And so that was verified when I talked to him. And I said, man, this makes sense, because it's easy to give your number to somebody who's projected to be great, right? A first-round pick, second overall pick, whatever. That's easy. But to me, the number 30 kind of represents the underdog, the guy that didn't have a shot. It's not supposed to be here, So I thought it was fitting for me to say, okay, yeah, go ahead and rock it, man, and make it your own.
So there was no part of you at all that sits there and says, no, because look, it's not on the kid. This is not on the kid. Why is that number somewhere where nobody gets it? I mean, is that not at all?
Well, you have to remember David Bruton played for the Broncos for, I think, 7 or 8 years, and he was a safety, and he wore 30. So he wore it from 2009 until like 2016 or something like that. And so the number 30 was never hanging up anywhere.
I know that.
Right. It's been out there.
I'm trying to say that it.
Hey, man, listen, if they didn't want somebody wearing it, they would have retired it a long time ago.
Okay.
So it's not on me. A number doesn't make me. It doesn't make a person. It doesn't make me. I look at, where you got like 88 right in Dallas, right?
Oh, I know. Irv was the one who's like I think he kind of told Dez you should put it on. I don't remember what it was or how that came. I don't know. I shouldn't say that because I don't know how that all came about. It's just, again, for me, just watching a game, and let's say Bruton made it. I didn't even know this, okay? And
right.
I follow the NFL like anybody else, or more than most. I didn't sit there and think when he made a tackle, well, that's TD's number. But when somebody's running the ball,
I think that's the difference.
You know what I mean?
The position is what it is, right?
It was odd, just seeing number 30 running the ball in that uniform. But he did one game in. He really did that number very nicely.
Yes, he did. I expect him to continue. Listen, I like seeing the 30 out there. I think what it does if you don't know, and it kind of brings it back up, right? It becomes a topic of conversation.
We're talking about it.
Yeah, then you have to kind of research and say, oh, wait a minute, somebody else wore that 30. And so maybe in a strange way it kind of keeps you relevant, and I don't know.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.